Welcome to my channel, Coin Worth Million. Today, video is one you won't to miss. We're diving into the word of coin's top 1 dime. So let's get it started. The 1988 United States of America, 1 dime, bearing a face value of 10 cents, stands as a quietly significant artifact in the long lineage of American numismatics. Though not an especially rare or premium coin in the collector's market, the 1988 dime encapsulates a number of compelling historical, economic, metallurgical, and cultural threads that interweave to form the tapestry of modern U.S. coinage. This particular coin belongs to the Roosevelt Dime series, which was first introduced in 1946 to honor the recently deceased 32nd President of the United States, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Roosevelt, a towering figure of 20th century American politics, had guided the country through the Great Depression and most of World War II. He also had a deeply personal connection to the March of Dimes, an initiative that raised funds to combat polio, a disease from which he himself suffered. The adoption of his portrait for the dime was both a tribute to his leadership and a nod to his advocacy for public health and welfare. By 1988, the Roosevelt dime had been in circulation for 42 years, but it had undergone several subtle yet meaningful changes over the decades, particularly in composition and minting technologies. The 1988 dime is composed of a copper nickel-clad sandwich, with outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This composition had replaced the 90% silver alloy used in dimes minted before 1965, following the Coinage Act of 1965, which addressed the economic necessity of reducing the intrinsic value of circulating coins due to rising silver prices. Thus, the 1988 dime, like other modern dimes, lacks precious metal content, rendering it more utilitarian and less desirable to bullion collectors. However, the transition to a copper-nickel-clad coin also brought with it new challenges and opportunities. In terms of minting, die longevity, and coin wear, minted at either the Philadelphia or Denver Mint, the 1988 dime carries a small mint mark, P for Philadelphia or D for Denver, positioned on the obverse side of the coin, just above the date. The mint mark itself serves not only as a marker of origin, but also as a feature that can distinguish certain varieties and error coins, which are of great interest to collectors and specialists. The design of the 1988 Roosevelt dime remained consistent, with John R. Sinnock's original sculptural interpretation of Franklin D. Roosevelt's profile. Facing left, Sinnock, who served as the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time of the dime's post-war redesign, drew upon several photographic references to create a dignified, compact, and modern portrait suited to the small canvas of the 10-cent coin. His initials, J.S., can be seen at the base of Roosevelt's neckline on the obverse, often mistaken for a cryptic symbol in the past, but actually serving as a simple monogram of attribution. Surrounding Roosevelt's profile are the inscriptions, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the mint year 1988. The word liberty, stretching along the left rim, echoes the central democratic ideal upon which the nation was founded, while "In God We Trust" embodies the religious sentiment officially adopted as a national motto during the Cold War era. On the reverse, the imagery includes a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing peace and strength respectively. The Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, meaning, out of many one, ties together these visual elements with a message of unity. This design has remained largely unchanged since its inception, contributing to the Roosevelt dime's enduring familiarity and ubiquity in American commerce. In terms of mintage figures, the 1988 Roosevelt dime was produced in significant quantities, with over 1 billion coins struck between the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Philadelphia Mint alone produced approximately 1,030,000 dimes, while the Denver Mint struck around 874,000. These massive production numbers reflect the coin's foundational role in everyday transactions and its status as a workhorse of American currency. Due to the high mintage and modernity of the coin, Most 1988 dimes found in circulation today possess little numismatic value beyond their face amount, unless they exhibit extraordinary preservation, such as mint state or proof condition, or possess striking anomalies. Such anomalies include double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet errors, features that can make an otherwise mundane coin into a desirable collectible. For example, in recent years, certain 1988 Roosevelt Dimes with full bands on the torch, a detail indicative of a strong, well-struck reverse, have fetched premium prices among collectors seeking top-quality specimens for their registry sets. The C. Proof version of the 1988 dime, intended for collectors rather than circulation, was minted exclusively at the San Francisco Mint and bears the S Mint mark. These coins were struck with specially polished dies on carefully prepared planchets, resulting in mirror-like fields and frosted devices. They were included in U.S. Mint proof sets sold to the public, and although not rare, they represent the pinnacle of aesthetic execution in modern coinage. Collectors value them for their visual beauty and for inclusion in complete Roosevelt dime collections, which often encompass both circulation strikes and proof versions across all years and mint marks. The 1988 S proof dime is widely available in high grades, often grading PR69 or PR70 deep cameo, especially when preserved in original packaging or certified by third-party grading services such as PCGS or NGC. The presence of such a coin in a collection enhances not only the completeness, but also the presentation of a Roosevelt dime set. From a broader perspective, the 1988 Roosevelt dime reflects the socio-political and economic landscape of late 20th century America. The coin's continued production underscored the enduring significance of Roosevelt's legacy, even as the country navigated the Reagan and George H.W. Bush administrations, characterized by conservative economic policies, a waning Cold War, and shifting geopolitical alliances. The coin served as a tangible reminder of past American resilience, evoking Roosevelt's wartime leadership and the triumph over adversity. At the same time, the mass production and widespread circulation of the coin illustrated the efficiency and technological prowess of the modern U.S. Mint, which had evolved into a sophisticated institution capable of producing billions of coins with remarkable consistency and quality. In circulation, the 1988 dime played its humble role in the daily rhythm of American life. Jingles in pockets, change trays, vending machines, and piggy banks across the country. It was used to pay for parking meters, make phone calls in the dwindling era of public payphones, and complete cash transactions in corner stores and gas stations. Though often overlooked, these coins represent a democratic medium that touched virtually every American citizen, regardless of class, region, or occupation. They also serve as microcosms of federal authority, public trust, and monetary policy, bearing symbols, mottos, and portraits that convey national values and identity. Indeed, even the wear and tear seen on circulated examples of the 1988 dime, scratches, dings, and loss of detail, can be interpreted as physical testimony to the coin's journey through countless hands and moments. In academic and collector circles, the Roosevelt Dime series, including the 1988 issue, provides ample material for study and analysis. Numismatists examine strike quality, die varieties, historical context, and the evolution of minting technology, while casual collectors may focus on date and mint mark sets, coin roll hunting, or cherry-picking rare errors. Despite its ubiquity, the 1988 dime has a place in coin albums and educational collections alike, serving as a bridge between modern coinage and historical narrative. Its affordability also makes it an ideal entry point for beginning collectors who wish to explore the fascinating world of American coins without incurring significant expense. Over time, even common coins like the 1988 dime can gain appreciation not only in value but in historical significance, as they become relics of a bygone era and markers of a nation's economic and cultural evolution. Thus, while the 1988 United States one dime may seem at first glance to be a simple, everyday object, it in fact encapsulates a complex web of artistry, legacy, economic policy, and shared experience. It is both artifact and currency, monument and medium, linking the present day with the enduring impact of Franklin D. Roosevelt and the historical currents that shaped modern America. In its modest diameter of 17.91 millimeters and weight of 227 grams, it carries a world of meaning, testifying to the power of small things to endure, inform, and inspire. The 1996 United States of America, 1 dime, a 10-cent coin from the Roosevelt Dime series, is a numismatic representation of both the enduring legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt and the continuing evolution of American coinage practices in the final decade of the 20th century. While often overlooked due to its everyday usage and modest face value, the 1996 dime stands as a microcosm of American historical consciousness, minting technology, and monetary circulation. To understand its significance, one must explore its background in the larger context of Roosevelt's enduring image, the metallurgical transformations of U.S. coinage, and the design conventions that have shaped public perception of currency for generations. The Roosevelt Dime series began in 1946, introduced shortly after Roosevelt's death in 1945. The choice to honor Roosevelt on the dime was not coincidental. As the founder and ardent supporter of the March of Dimes campaign to combat polio, Roosevelt's association with this denomination was both symbolic and deeply personal. The 1996 dime, therefore, represents not just a continuation of the Roosevelt legacy, but also a commemoration of a half-century since the inception of the series. In fact, 1996 marked the 50th anniversary of the Roosevelt Dime, and to honor this occasion, the United States Mint issued a special version of the coin, a 1996 W Roosevelt Dime, which bore the W mint mark, indicating it was minted at the West Point Mint. This marked the first time the Roosevelt Dime was ever struck with a W mint mark, making it a landmark issue within the series. Not released into general circulation, the 1996 W dime was instead included exclusively in the 1996 United States Mint uncirculated coin set, distributed to collectors and hobbyists. Unlike other West Point minted coins, which typically included precious metals such as gold or silver, the 1996 W dime was struck in the same copper-nickel-clad composition as its Philadelphia and Denver counterparts. Nevertheless, its limited availability and unique origin have made it an appealing collectible for those interested in modern numismatics. The standard 1996 Roosevelt Dime was minted at the Philadelphia P and Denver D mints in massive quantities, underscoring the coin's role as a staple of everyday American commerce. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 1.4 billion dimes that year, while the Denver Mint contributed over 1.2 billion coins. These figures reflect a robust economy in the mid-1990s, driven by technological innovation, post-Cold War economic expansion, and a burgeoning interest in investment and consumer culture. Against this backdrop, the 1996 dime circulated widely through grocery stores, parking meters, payphones, vending machines, and virtually every cash transaction, rendering it both ubiquitous and underappreciated. Yet, for collectors and historians, these coins serve as historical fingerprints, each piece a tangible remnant of the time it was minted. The obverse of the 1996 dime features the familiar left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by chief engraver John R. Sinnock. Sinnock's initials, JS, appear just beneath Roosevelt's neck truncation. The image itself has become an iconic rendering, unchanged in its fundamentals since 1946. It is framed by the inscriptions Liberty, the motto In God We Trust, the year of mintage 1996, and on circulation issues, the mint mark, either P or D. The portrait captures Roosevelt's determined expression and forward gaze, reflecting the spirit of a man who led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, and whose struggle with polio inspired the very cause linked to the dime itself. The reverse of the 1996 dime remains faithful to Sinnock's original design. which features a lit torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace on the left, and an oak branch symbolizing strength and independence on the right. These elements are surrounded by the legend United States of America, the Latin motto E pluribus unum, out of many one, and the denomination one dime. The reverse design, though compact and minimalist, is rich in symbolic meaning and represents the core values of the United States. It is notable that despite the increasing digitization of money and banking in the 1990s, the imagery on U.S. coinage remained remarkably traditional, preserving continuity with the nation's mid-20th century ideals and iconography. In terms of composition, the 1996 dime was struck using the same copper-nickel-clad sandwich structure that has characterized U.S. dimes since 1965. This consists of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, giving the coin a silvery appearance while keeping production costs low and avoiding the use of precious metals. The weight of the coin is 2.27 grams, with a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and a reeded edge composed of 118 tiny grooves, another security and aesthetic feature designed to discourage clipping and tampering. While this composition lacks the intrinsic value of pre-1965 silver dimes, it has proven effective for modern circulation, offering durability and cost efficiency. In addition to the Standard and West Point issues, a proof version of the 1996 Roosevelt Dime was struck at the San Francisco Mint bearing the S Mint mark. These proof coins were not intended for circulation, but were struck on specially prepared planchets using polished dies, resulting in coins with mirror-like fields and frosted details. They were sold in proof sets to collectors and are frequently found in pristine grades such as PR69 or PR70, often designated deep cameo, due to the high contrast between the frosted devices and reflective fields. These coins are popular with both casual and advanced collectors, as they offer the most refined execution of the Roosevelt Dimes' artistic elements. The 1996 S proof dimes, while not rare, add another dimension to the year's coinage offerings and underscore the Mint's dual commitment to mass circulation and collectible excellence. Collectors often seek to assemble complete sets that include the 1996P, 1996D, 1996 S proof, and the 1996 W West Point special issue, appreciating the diversity of minting origins and formats available in a single year. From a numismatic standpoint, in 1996, Roosevelt dimes are generally considered common in circulated condition, with values hovering around face value unless they exhibit unusual characteristics. However, in mint state, particularly in grades MS67 and above, they begin to attract more serious collector interest. Coins with full bands designation on the reverse, meaning the horizontal bands across the torch are fully separated and well-defined, are especially desirable, as they reflect a precise and strong strike. The full bands attribute is most commonly associated with coins graded by third-party services such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, and can significantly enhance a coin's market value. Moreover, error varieties such as off-center strikes, double dies, or die clashes are carefully examined by collectors for rarity and visual appeal. While no major nationally recognized error varieties have been cataloged for the 1996 dime, small anomalies can still be found and may command premiums among specialists. Coin roll hunting, searching through rolls of dimes from banks or change jars, is one popular way hobbyists discover such treasures. Beyond its technical and collectible attributes, the 1996 dime offers a cultural window into a period of American optimism and change. The United States in 1996 was experiencing the maturation of the Internet age, rising globalization, and the presidency of Bill Clinton, whose administration was marked by economic growth and a reduction in federal deficits. In this atmosphere of transition, the 1996 dime maintained its role as a symbol of continuity. Rooted in mid-century values, stable in design, and ever-present in daily life. Its sheer volume in circulation and its unchanged motifs offered a comforting constancy, even as the nation's economy, technology, and social fabric evolved rapidly. For children of the 1990s, the dime may be remembered as a coin that bought a gumball, contributed to a school fundraiser, or allowed a brief call from a payphone, a far cry from today's digital transactions. As such, the 1996 dime is a silent witness to a generation's everyday experiences, its scratched surface often bearing the marks of countless exchanges and lives intersecting. In summary, the 1996 United States of America $1 dime is a modern coin that nonetheless echoes the deep historical and cultural roots of its series. With a design that pays tribute to one of the most consequential presidents in American history, a metallurgical composition born of economic necessity, and a production process that illustrates the sophistication of the U.S. Mint, the 1996 dime deserves recognition beyond its small size and commonplace function. Whether examined for its unique 1996 W. West Point issue, its status as a milestone in the Roosevelt Dime lineage, its inclusion in high-grade collections, or its place in the pocket change of millions, this coin embodies the complex interplay of artistry, history, economics, and national identity. It is a coin at once ordinary and extraordinary, a testament to how even the most familiar objects can offer profound insight when viewed through the lens of numismatic study. Like and subscribe this video